This movie is about three half-castes, which was the name given to the half-Caucasian, half-native peoples in the Australian outback during the time this movie was set in. These half-castes were taken away from their families and were put in a settlement where they can be raised as white children. These children end up escaping, and we see their journey home. Rabbit Proof Fence shows the lack of human rights that the half-castes had, which can also relate to the lack of rights the First Nations people had, politically and economically. The First Nations were not able to have a say in the government, and they were paid little on short-term contracts. As we look at this video, listen to the screams, and feel their emotions, we cannot even begin to imagine what they were going through. The white men in this area thought that this was the best for the half-caste, which is what the chief is talking about in this video. They wanted to get rid of the unwanted third race. The half-castes in this area did not like this at all and despised the chief protector of Aborigines and his men for it. They did not think it was fair for the chief protector of Aborigines to be the children's legal guardian.
Stamps out the black color. The native must be helped.
Molly was the main character in this movie. As time went on, she grew stronger and led the children on their journey home. Her motivation to get home was to be with her family. She was the provider of the girls, and she kept them going throughout the long walk home. The main symbol in Rabbit Proof Fence is the bird flying in the sky. This bird represents freedom, and we see it during the beginning and ending of the movie, when the children are really free. The part that really breaks my heart is that this is a true story. This period in time in Australia, where half Aboriginal and half Caucasian children were being taken away, took place between 1869 and 1969, the stolen generation.
The removal of Aboriginal children from their families and traditional lives began in the late 1800s and continued until the late 1960s and 1970s. The children who were removed from their homes and families during this period became known as the stolen generation.
In the end of this movie, we see the two girls, Molly and Daisy, that are now old women. It's so sad to think of how these people used to be treated, how they could have no say and no place in society. This movie is a sad realization to the lack of rights the Native people had during history. Imagine wondering each day, is my child going to be taken away today? Rabbit Proof Fence takes us inside a tragic true story that brings the audience to tears.